Ladies and gentlemen, this is Reaction and this is Miscellaneous Miss Nerites. Now I don't know if this is Greek myth or what, but I'm pretty sure it is since its name is Nerites. But I could be wrong, we'll see. This is by the channel only Sarcastic production, obviously. This teeny weeny episode is brought to you courtesy of our patron Ryan the Nomad, okay? There's no art of Nerites, which means none of you can prove he wasn't a mermaid. Okay, so there is no depiction of art of him, and it's just, I guess, words and talk, okay? Yeah, I love Miscellaneous Myths, obviously. Around this time, I'll try to react to one Miscellaneous Myth at least. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. You know, I like Greek mythology and all other mythology, Egyptian mythology, you know, ancient American mythology, if that's what they're called, I don't know. All the different, even in the Indian mythology. Yeah, there was a Mahabharata video of 1 minute. I don't know, I made it into 12-minute video or something like that with reaction. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. Remember people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the reaction I did. There's a link in the description with all of my videos. So you know, lots of things don't have playlists, so you can find all of them there. Check out the playlist for things like only Sarcastic production. I upload lots of videos in 24 hours, you know, so YouTube only sends 3 notifications per 24 hours if I'm not mistaken. So you might have missed some of the videos I uploaded. So check out the playlist. Check out the playlist too, like Tier Zoo, Internet Historian, CGP Grey, Oversimplified, latest Napoleon video. So yeah, let's watch this one.
So I think most people would agree that it's a bad idea to date most Greek gods. There's just so much drama, so many complicated family
Especially
feuds,
Zeus.
and the odds of you getting vaporized, shot, or turning into a plant are pretty astronomical. The threat is somewhat reduced if you happen to be a deity yourself.
Seriously, that's what I've noticed. I mean, I don't think there is any other mythology which works like that, like in Greek mythology, where gods are depicted as not much of moral. I mean, they are not depicted as bad, like gods are bad, but they're not depicted as good too. I guess morality wasn't like that in Greek mythology. Like, you know, gods are not necessarily good. They are just gods. They are just higher being who doesn't think much of humans or something like that at some point. Because, you know, Hera obviously does lots of shit. Zeus bangs somebody, Hera gets pissed off. Obviously Hera cannot get pissed off as Zeus, so Hera kills off the person that Zeus banged, even though the person had no idea that's Zeus or not. Like, you know, I remember one time where, you know, she told the person, like, you know, ask Zeus to, I guess, present himself, fully knowing that if Zeus shows his true self, she's gonna get vaporized. But yeah, this is effed up.
But even with that precaution, it's probably a good idea to steer clear of the more risky deities, like Aphrodite, who classifies everything anyone's ever done as either flirtation or deadly personal insult, or Poseidon, who wouldn't recognize consent.
Oh god, Zeus and Aphrodite, I think those are the two most toxic Greek gods, right? Zeus just, you know, bangs everything, doesn't care, and I guess Aphrodite is just like what she said. She doesn't care about consequences. Obviously, the Trojan Wars, and that what that video was, where the guy was, I think, you know, one of the Artemis's hunter apparently, and she's like, oh, you don't want to fall in love, that's an insult to me, or something like that.
And if it jumped up and bit him in the trident. So let me introduce you to Nerites, a minor ocean deity and absolute madman whose only claim to fame is that, depending on the narrator, he dated both Aphrodite and Poseidon and actually survived. So, much like the story
I like somebody in the comments that he dated Aphrodite and Poseidon, survived both. We got a mad lad.
This is who exactly Nerites is in love with varies from telling to telling. There's 2 versions of the story, one where the SO in question is Aphrodite, and the other where it's Poseidon. We'll talk about both versions in this video, but first we gotta talk about Nerites. Now, the 2 main things about Nerites is that, number 1, he's the beautiful son of Nereus and the sea nymph Doris. And number 2, he's young. Like, really young. In the ancient Greek world, this was a thing called pederasty, where adult men would have sexual relationships with adolescent boys, in an alleged effort to teach them how to be men. In the modern world, this is known as pedophilia.
Wait a minute, I have to hear that again.
Young. In the ancient Greek world, this was a thing called pederasty, where adult men would have sexual relationships with adolescent boys, in an alleged effort to teach them how to be men. In the modern world,
What? That shit really happened? I mean, how young? I mean, my imagination is just running right now and I'm getting frightened. Damn, that's an effed up place. This is where I come whenever somebody says, like, you know what, you know, if I had time machine, I would go to this place, that place, I would go to Greek world. I would not. I really would not, because of shit like this. Ugh.
world, this is known as pedophilia, and it is very, very not okay. However, Nerites is also an immortal god, so he's kinda more like the ancient Greek male equivalent of those prepubescent anime girls who are actually 1,000-year-old dragons or elves or whatever, so it's really okay that we're using them for so much fan service, you guys. So if that makes you feel better about these romances, that's cool, I guess. It's always fun when a story from another time and place really drives home how different that society was by smacking you in the face with some hardcore moral dissonance. Anyway, moving on to the actual
Seriously,
stories.
that, lots of videos, I don't know, from this channel, I'm pretty sure from this channel, other historical videos too about the Greek world. Some of the moral things were really different, especially how they saw women at the time. I mean, it was really different at the time. I guess lots of things, I'm not just talking about the political correctness here, just your common sense thought. Even if you go to that world with a time machine and just use that and you talk to somebody, they would be, I guess, dumbfounded, like, really, is that how you see things?
Get comfy, they're pretty short. So, in this version of the myth, Aphrodite, before she rises from the ocean, drifts to the shores of Cythera, and becomes an Olympian god, is spending her days chilling under the sea when she meets and falls in love with Nerites, and the two of them carry on a vague but probably adorable whirlwind romance. But eventually Aphrodite decides to leave the ocean, and she asks Nerites to come with her. But Nerites doesn't really want to leave the ocean, since that'd mean leaving his family behind, and even when Aphrodite offers him a nice pair of wings, he refuses. So Aphrodite, with her characteristic level-headedness in the face of rejection, turns Nerites into a shrimp, gives the wings to her son Eros, and takes off for Olympus. But if you were expecting this story to have a classic Greek tragedy ending, think again. Nerites' sorry state is discovered by his sister Neria, who begs Poseidon to reverse his shellfish condition, which Poseidon does. Happy ending, I guess. In the other main version of this myth, Poseidon and Nerites have been carrying on a pretty sweet romance, and in fact are so in love with each other that their mutually supportive relationship produces a whole entire deity, Anteros, the god of requited love. Nerites also serves as Poseidon's charioteer, and wows all the creatures of the ocean with his impressive speed and skill. But one day, the sun god Helios, for unspecified reasons, turns Nerites into a shrimp. Maybe he was jealous? Either way, Neria finds Nerites—
What? Just out of the blue? I mean, this is what I like about Greek mythology. They really leave things from their stories so that, anybody who's reading the stories would figure things out on their own. I mean, Helios just turned him into a shrimp. Okay, I guess Helios was jealous.
Nerites asks Poseidon to turn him back, and he does. Happy ending. For extra comedy points, I like to imagine that both versions of the myth happen sequentially, and Nerites just gets turned into a shrimp for various reasons, like every other week. Just look at the world around you.
Nerites isn't attested by Homer Hesiod, and is largely only mentioned by the Roman author Claudius Aelianus, or Aelianus to his friends. Okay, so it could be a Roman thing, not really Greek mythology, who knows.
Right here on—
I'm not saying it's Aelianus, but it's I don't know.
Ocean floor.
Anyway, Nerites was a popular figure in sailor folklore. Yeah, because for obvious reasons. Yeah, so that was Nerites. I mean, that was just Aphrodite. Whenever Aphrodite is involved, obviously Poseidon too. Sometimes Poseidon story can be funny, but sometimes, lots of time, it's dark. Aphrodite is always funny and just entertaining. Alright, people, that was Miscellaneous Nerites. If you like my reaction, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out the reaction, this link in the description, check out the cast website, check out the end cards, and I'll see you next time.